Hello my creative chums, how are you doing out there in happy painting land? Hi, I'm Nicola and I'm just doing this little video because from time to time, and it's happened quite a lot lately, students ask me about paint. What make should they use, whether they should have tubes or pans and all sorts of questions like that. So what I thought I'd do was just do this little video. First off, I'm going to say at the end of the day, it's up to you what make you use because it probably is dependent on budget. Okay, now there are dozens of makes out there, as you know. There's Winsor & Newton, there's Schmink, there's Holbein, there's there's Dahler and Rowney, there's Turner Paints, there's Black Knight, there's just dozens and dozens. I actually use a lot of Sennelier paints. People often ask me what I use. I use Sennelier for a number of reasons. I think partly because I was seduced by the fact that they are French. I've always been a Francophile, I now live in France, and also I was seduced by the fact that they are blended along with the usual solvents and binders with honey and spring water. So how sweet is that? But that is my opinion, that's what I choose, but I still try other makes. I'm not going to go into that now because I don't want to cloud the issue. So really it's up to you, it's cost. Let's face it, at the end of the day it's cost. Now whether it's tubes or pans, again that is a question of preference. If you've got a box, pans in a box, it's easily transportable, okay? If you've got a palette and you squirt some paint on, not quite so transportable always. You've got to wait for it to dry, you put greaseproof paper over it, stuff like that. You can though, let me just reach and get, oh, should have got this earlier, these foldable ones. So you squirt your paint in and then you can close it. So that makes it a bit more transportable. So it's up to you from that point of view. I use both, depending whether I'm mobile, I'm going somewhere to teach, or if I'm working at home. So I've probably got both. So I hope that helps ease the question of what make and what sort to have. It's up to you. Just remember, always, when it comes to paint, always go for artist quality, not students. And remember, you get what you pay for, okay? I've had groups where we've all been using, say, sap green, and everybody's colour's different because the manufacturer is different. You will find some manufacturers will have better quality pigments than others, and some of them will add a filler, you know, something to pad it out to make it less expensive, so you can buy them at a cheaper price. So those are the main things about the paints and the types and everything. Somebody's also asked, and this comes up quite often, what colours do I have in my paint box? Well, I've got lots, haven't I? Because I'm always trying new things, I'm always experimenting, and somebody sends me something and I think, oh, that's nice, I'll try that. But there are some colours which I would not paint without. To say I can't live without them is a bit extreme, but what colours I think are essential to you being able to produce a piece of work and to have everything you need. So that is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take you through what I deem, and this is my opinion, remember, to be the essential paints to have in your paint box. Anything else is a bonus. So I hope that makes sense. So we will go on to that now, and I'll show you those colours and you can make the choice for yourself, okay? So here we are. These are the colours that I would consider, I would recommend to be essentials. So we are going to start off with, my brush is clean and I've got clean water. We are going to start off with this super lemon yellow. This is a zingy, tangy, ooh, purse your lips, gorgeous, bright, tart lemon colour. Okay, that's a really pretty colour. It's a really lemon. Let me just take those bubbles out. Okay, something to make you screw your face up when you suck on it. Oh, but essential for a gin and tonic. So there's your lemon. Now that's a nice, cool, sharp, bright lemon. Okay, I say a cool colour, I would call it a cool colour. Okay, another yellow that I think is also very good, and it doesn't look that much different, but it is a deeper, richer and slightly warmer yellow. Then that's a cadmium. Okay, so you can see the difference when it dries out. It's quite a bit darker, it's a bit warmer, it's got a bit more substance to it. This is where we start talking about opacity, strength of paints, you know, how strong they are, how staining they are, that sort of thing. Okay, the next colour I would consider to be pretty essential, rinse that brush off, would be alizarin crimson. Get a bit more. Now that is a lovely, royal, opulent, luxurious, cherry, lipstick coloured red. Isn't that super? It's got a bluey tinge to it almost, okay? So that is alizarin crimson. Next up for a red, that makes great purples with blues. Next up for a red is going to be, don't know why I've got this on this side, let me move it over, excuse me, juggle things about a bit, is a quite different red, scarlet. Now this to me is what I would call an old-fashioned telephone, English telephone box colour, or a post box colour, or it's Miss Scarlet in the library with the candlestick in Cluedo. That's also another good lipstick colour. That's something that scarlet women wear, isn't it? A gorgeous colour. So two reds. That one's quite a lot cooler and that one's warmer. And now you can see those, actually with those next to the yellows, you can see the difference there. Now greens, because you're clever, creative people, you know that to make green, you mix blue and yellow. And if you do that and are very good and make your chart, you come up with lots and lots of different greens. But I do suggest that you have in your paint box for emergencies, or if you're feeling lazy, sap green. Let me get a bit more. It's what I would call a very natural looking green. You know, you could start off with that if you're painting some nature, trees, leaves, foliage, not foliage, yes foliage, whatever you're doing, you could get away with using just that. But if you mix it with a bit of yellows, a few blues or something else, you'll come back with quite different colours. So I'm saying that's your emergency green. It's a really good natural green. So I always reckon that's pretty handy to have in your box. The next colour to have, and have I got it handy? Yes, is, and just activate that a bit more. Cerulean blue. Cerulean it is pronounced. The sea is soft. Let me get a bit more. Again, this is very variable according to manufacture of the shade and intensity of it. And it's what I call a good sky colour. Okay, it's a good sky colour. It's not too dark, it's not too purpley red, it's not too flat, it's not too cold, and that mixed with lemon yellow gives you a fantastic lime green. So cerulean, I would suggest. The next blue I would suggest you have, which is a much warmer blue altogether, is ultramarine blue, or French ultramarine blue. This is a wonderful colour. It's a royal colour. It's a very old colour. In fact, in the days of yore, when they were painting Madonnas with child, the robes were in ultramarine blue, and that is because, and it was only used for the Madonna because ultramarine was a very expensive pigment. It's made from lapis lazuli or lazuli or whatever you want to call it, which is a ground up precious, semi-precious stone. I have some in some jewellery somewhere. It's a beautiful colour. It makes stunning purples. So there again, I would say, is another good blue for you to have. Now we come to a couple of different customers, but I suggest either one or the other. And the one is Prussian. Good old Prussian blue. Whoops, I just knocked my pan over. Which is a really... Let me just make sure I've got the right one. Hold on. Yeah. Prussian blue. Now, I'm suggesting you have either Prussian or indigo. Indigo is, of course, you know, taken from a plant. I'm going to have to paint those in separately because that's going to bleed, isn't it? So I'm going to suggest Prussian or indigo, and they are very close together, and you will see the difference when I come to do that. But let me go on to the next one. Raw sienna or yellow ochre. Let me just do the raw sienna first. They're sort of similar colours. You'll have heard of raw sienna, burnt sienna. This is the raw sienna, an opaque earth colour. The earth colours are very important. You'll use them a lot. So that's your raw sienna. I'm just going to blot off my Prussian, and I'm just going to go back with a stronger but less, just bear with me a moment, less runny. That's better. There we go. Let me just put it again there. Okay, Prussian blue, fabulous colour. And next is what I consider to be one of the most useful colours, is raw umber. Now, I like this colour and I use it a lot, and it's good for what I call dirt. Soil, ground, whatever you want to call it. If you're painting a landscape and stuff, or trees and trunks and things, this is a good place to start. It does look, as it's wet, a little bit similar to the raw sienna, but you will find that it will darken off. And that's, excuse me, that's from the tube, so that's a little bit, a bit runny. The next colour, which I couldn't live without, is Payne's Grey. And again, these will vary immensely according to manufacturer, as will a lot of them, but particularly Payne's Grey and particularly Sap Green. Now, it's black, but it isn't. If you put black next to that, in fact I will do a little daub. Black is altogether a more, how can I call it, a colder, strange colour. It's almost got a bit of red in it, but it's very, just a bit more. Okay, Payne's grey is darker, that's got a sort of red into it. Right, let me come back and do the, I think I can do the indigo now. That Prussian's not too wet. This indigo is a bit more of a sort of a greeny blue. It's very close indeed. So you've got to sort of make your mind up yourself. But I would say either. But I think they are both immensely, both the Prussian and the indigo, they're both of those are a good colour, one or the other, it doesn't matter. And then here is the yellow ochre, which you can see appears to be a more translucent colour and is lighter. Now I'm just going to go back and get a bit more raw umber, because that's looking a bit weak and wishy-washy. There you go, it's a bit darker. So those, my creative mates, my little chums out in painting land, are the ones I would recommend you get. Okay? If you can't get anything else, get these, because you'll often hear me talk about them. I name them when we're painting, I do it in classes, I do it online. I will say these are the main guys, these are the ones you must have. So I hope that helps a lot out there with the questions, and all I can say is, well, enjoy your painting.